Dino Crisis was released on the PlayStation 1 in 1999 by survival horror kings Capcom, and was designed by the same team as the original Resident Evil, headed up by director Shinji Mikami. The game was marketed as panic horror by Capcom due to its faster, more intense action than that of Resident Evil's slower, more survival-based gameplay. The story sees a special forces unit, SORT, made up of 4 agents, sent to an isolated island called Ibis to stop a mad scientist, Dr. Kirk's experiments to bring back dinosaurs with a space-time distortion device. You get to play the heroine herself, Regina, one of 4 members of the Special Forces team, as you search the facility for Dr. Kirk as all hell breaks loose. When asked in an interview, Shinji mentioned the fundamental differences between Dino Crisis and Resident Evil. In Resident Evil, if you could make it to a room and close the door behind you, it was a temporary reprieve, a moment to catch your breath. This time, the dinosaurs will smash through the walls and doors to get to you. You can never let your guard down. Escape for the player thus means running, always running. That's the kind of terror I wanted to have, and terror with the sense of speed. Resident Evil was more about that fear of what might be lurking around the next corner. In Dino Crisis, the menace doesn't just wait there, it comes right for you.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Development of the game started in late 1996 after the huge success of Resident Evil. Originally it was supposed to be all set in a jungle, but due to the hardware limitations of the PS1 and the new 3D real-time engine they were developing, it was decided to make it take place mostly in the island research facility. Shinji also decided dinosaurs should be the main foes due to their unpredictability and popularity at the time. He said he wanted the game to be a combination of the movies The Lost World and Aliens. The game was put on ice in late 97 as the team had to go 100% on completing Resident Evil 2. After its release though, it was back to Dino Crisis for its 1999 release cycle. The full 3D engine as opposed to the static rendered backdrops meant the action could be more cinematic and visceral, but most importantly, very unpredictable. Story and scripting was all done in-house by Capcom, with the dialogue getting a complete rewrite as Shinji felt it was just simply too bland. Yasuhisa Kawamura was brought in to liven it all up and add a bit of humor. He cites the manga Cyber Blue and the movie The Last Boy Scout for influencing the writing style. Here's Shinji on the reason for going full 3D. Well, the biggest of course is the fully polygonal world. It's not pre-rendered like Resident Evil, so we can change the camera angle on the fly. Since one area can now be seen from several different angles, it gives us the ability to create more action, although it's tough, because we have to design the camera system so that it can cover all the possible potential area. Otherwise the camera misses the character, and that's obviously not acceptable.
You don't hunt them, they hunt you. Dino Crisis, from the makers of Resident Evil.
PlayStation.
Dino Crisis has a lot of Resident Evil's gameplay tropes, but at the same time introduces and does things differently enough to justify its own game design aspects. The way the action plays out is the same in terms of controls, except the enemies are way more unpredictable than those shambling zombies. Running is often the solution, and like mentioned earlier, even locked doors are not safe, which makes the action overall 100 times more intense. You're able to combine items Res Evil style for tranquilizers to knock out dinos, and various other gun upgrades and objects. Storage boxes are also located all over to store excess supplies. You can be a little bit more trigger happy as opposed to those every bullet counts zombie encounters. There are also plenty of puzzles to solve all over the place, offering up a challenge without being annoying, which breaks up the intense vibe just for a little bit. The game also has critical decisions to make, which will send the story down different paths to the 4 possible endings. A map also provides provides extra detail, and you will be backtracking across the facility quite a lot when new objects are found to unlock those mystery areas. The pace of the game though makes this a lot more fun than this trope usually is. And yeah, Shinji talking about getting the intensity of those dinosaurs into the game. You can't reason with them, nor are threats likely to work. They just make a beeline right for you. So it's that ferocity, for example. The ferocity you see when the raptors are devouring their prey that I wanted to depict more directly in Dino Crisis. That's why we were very attentive to detail and authenticity in the scenes with biting and so forth. The graphics are extremely good if you consider the age of the 3D engine. I was a little bit afraid coming back to this game now that it was going to be slightly underwhelming, but the fluidity of the gameplay and realistic dinosaur and human animations really still work very well, as long as you gloss over everyone's early 2000s video game puppet hands. The choice to go full 3D was very bold at the time and worked out well. The big T-Rex attacks are kept to a bare minimum, but when they happen it's totally off guard because you never know when something can smash right through that environment. The sound design is great too. Music is used only in very small doses for set pieces for the most part anyway. Sound effects give the game its real vibe, with the echoing footsteps and those shrieking dinosaur attacks make your heart race at the drop of a hat. In a video game you can control the character, so you feel the shock when things happen. At the same time, in a video game we can't describe how you are actually feeling internally, moment to moment. This can be done best in books and secondarily in movies, so we cannot tell you what you should be feeling. Video games need their horror factor to be a lot more concentrated. It's also tough because you don't control the pacing like you can in a movie. You never know where a player will want to go next, but we solve this by setting some parameters or objectives that the player must achieve before enabling them to go further into the game. Overall, it's a highly entertaining game with enough action and frights to keep you entertained till the end. Although not as popular as Capcom's zombie franchise, and to be perfectly honest has been kind of forgotten by the company, it's still highly recommended and got a direct PS1 sequel in 2000, which ups the action factor even more. The slow build-up and tension, some pretty interesting plot twists, and solid game design make this a game you should simply not pass up on.